a real quick touch. Double check the steering wheel. Controller.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
All out there. Nice and smooth. Let's get it all done all day long. Got a good feeling about today, guys.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win in the Saturday Night Racing League Cup Series. What a finish!
It's too little, too late from behind, and Sebastian Marin, your first repeat top split winner of the qualifying series.
We knew it was just a matter of time when Hunter Sr. is victorious.
Josh Adams taking the win at Iowa. Juicy Spider Motorsports takes home the 1-2-3 finish.
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
A unique concrete venue this week. It's just under a mile and a half. These drivers will have to adjust, and it will be impossible to pass. Live here tonight from Music City, it's the Chapman Cup Series on Vspeed. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, for the Music City 200, joined in here by Alex Gagnon, with camera packs provided by Dougie Beard. We've been here before. We've watched a lot of racing in this past weekend. But this is a unique venue, Alex. It takes a lot of patience because it's almost impossible to get to the inside of somebody and complete the pass.
Yeah, this is a really frustrating track for a lot of drivers because it's very difficult to pass, especially on longer green flag runs. Once the tires start losing a little bit of that freshness, it becomes a real war of attrition. So if you take care of your tires early, you'll be in really good shape to hold on to wherever you're running throughout the rest of the run. If you burn yourself up, though, a little too fast, there is almost nothing you can do there to hold your spot, and you're just going to start dropping like a rock. So we'll see who really can take care of their stuff here tonight over the 150 laps that we've got in store.
Of course, 1.33 miles. That's another unique shape here. 12 degrees of banking in the corners. Lebanon, Tennessee. I almost said Texas. That would have insulted a lot of people right now, Alex. And I'll try to do better from here on out. But what I can promise you is that it will be a very tough race for all of these drivers. Of course, we got to talk about the points before we get deep into this thing. The cut line. It's starting to mean something now. Michael Bennett tied with Grant Thorpe. That right there, that 16th position, that's where all these drivers don't want to be. Justice Murphy, we've seen glimpses of him have good races, and then we've had DNFs from the 12 as well. Caleb Gilbert outside of that cut line. You have Nick Alves also in there. He was doing really well last week, but look at the names of the people. Look how competitive it is for that 16th spot.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look all the way up to like 11th, like Trevor Earhart's only 10 points clear. He might be 11th in this group, but like a bad race here today could drop him out of that top 16 like that. I mean, this is a really competitive cut line right now, and there's not a whole lot of time to really establish yourself on one side or the other here.
With that, though, it's time to get your KLD Pole Award up on the screen, starting on the top spot. It's going to be the number 45 of Tyler Harrison. Congratulations to the Recharge Rally number 45. As we move through the rest of your grid. Well, I clicked the button. There we go. Jeremy Bird is going to start to his outside. Then you have row number 2 belonging to Michael Call and Dakota Floyd. Trevor Earhart and Parker Johnson will start in 5th and 6th spot. We're already getting ready to rumble off, so we're going to have that grid continue across the bottom of your screen. And we'll get set to go green flag racing, 150 miles. Stage at lap 45. Here we go, racing from Music City, live on Vspeed. Joe Joy at the end of the field, and your leader hit the wall coming out of 4.
Yeah, trouble there for Tyler Harrison coming off of turn 4. The pole sitter losing all of that ground. By the time he finally gets that thing back up to speed, he is outside the top 20. You may as well score him at the back of the field here, as he's continuing to have some issues through 1 and 2. He's
got a black flag as well. It looks like a meatball flag. Started from the pole, went all the way to the back of the field.
Yeah, he is not thrilled about that. Can't say I blame him. About as bad a start as you can have here from the pole. We'll have to take a look at the replay here to see what happened to him. But yeah, Tyler Harrison, nightmare scenario here from the pole, now down off the lead lap.
It was going into 3 and 4 where this goes wrong. He was way up the racetrack here. Car just not working the brakes, and he's... I don't know.
I don't even think he hit the wall there.
Maybe he got the penalty for the restart violation. Let's go back a little bit further. I need to find out.
Because he didn't make contact there with the wall in 3 and 4, which I admittedly, I thought he had hit it there.
I want to say maybe he took the Denny Hamlin start to this race.
Unless he went through the zone without restarting. 5 was getting on the bumper there. It was a bit of a later start for the 45. Yeah, I don't entirely know what happened there, but the 45 is now scored off the lead lap, which is, I mean, not a great start here for Harrison. Meanwhile, I mean, there's a lot of battling still in the top 10 while everyone's on these fresh tires trying to make something happen in the early going. Call's got the lead, followed by Burns. Rob Rader settling in the third over Bennett and Earhart. We're watching this battle for 6. Dakota Floyd, Matt Robinson. And I'll tell you what, something about those 4 cars, visually, just scratches something in my brain between the red and the blue, the green, the yellow, the purple and the blue. Like, visually, that's a very satisfying battle.
Absolutely it is. And you can also add that KSX Graphics 15, who just about had contact with Parker Johnson and the 77. Of Grant
Caleb
Thorpe.
Gilbert going off-roading. He just got back onto the racing surface, but the 54 losing a ton of ground as he was off track there in turn 2. Do not know if he had any help.
Got loose.
He was able to catch it, but doing a lot of lawn mowing to keep that thing off the wall.
Just down on the bottom here. It doesn't look like he touched the apron car, just on throttle. Steps out. And maybe a little bit aero came into play there. Able to save it, though, and going to end up back with Tyler Harrison. Harrison 1 lap down, and a black flag penalty. Not sure what happened there. Not sure if we'll get a chance to ask Tyler what happened there, but that's unfortunate. That is Denny Hamlin's race. I don't know if you tuned in at all this weekend, Alex, but that's what happened to the 11.
Yeah, to a T.
He went it early, and maybe Harrison comes back and wins this race. I don't know if that's part of the strategy.
Hey, it clearly worked on Sunday. Who's to say it can't work on Wednesday? I would say it's maybe a slightly suboptimal call, but I don't think that was up to the 45. But he probably will get his lap back at least at the stage, assuming everyone else is able to stay on the lead lap here.
And it was a lot of rotors exploding over the weekend that helped the 11 get back up there, so I don't think we're going to see that tonight. It's a weird set of circumstances, and I don't have the answer yet.
Yeah, still very early on. Just coming to lap 10 here this time around. Michael Call still your race leader. It is this battle right here. Grant Thorpe, Parker Johnston, the battle for 8th that we're watching into turn 1. They've got Trevor Keith not too far behind him, 77, down on the apron trying to clear.
And that was the frustrating part about this race. Car in the wall in the background, that's the 23 of Schaefer. And he's got a gaggle of cars moving around right now. You put the 81 of Ryan Munoz in there. Justice Murphy, contact with the 23. He is struggling.
Yeah, he was trying to stay off the wall. I think the 81 thought he may have either been clear or had a little bit more room. The two of them get together there off of 4. Somehow everyone keeps it pointed the correct direction. But now Richardson looking to pounce on the 23 here as this slip down the running order continues. He'll clear, so will the car behind them.
That was Dylan Picklesheimer. Picklesheimer almost makes contact. Man, the 23 is pushing these corners hard.
Yeah, certainly is. Trying to get everything out of it. It's a little bit more door banging there between Schaefer and Picklesheimer in the 1. Got Nick Alves just in tow as well. The 33 trying to run that middle groove. Not the easiest thing as he actually washes up, clips the wall coming off of 2. There's just not as wide of a lane there, especially this early in the race, as you'd hope to make that lane work. You know, as things progress, more rubber will settle in. You might be able to run that line, but 12 laps in, that is kind of a barren wasteland to be running that many grooves off the apron.
Nick Alves trying to find a way around both of these cars. Going to cut down to the bottom of the racetrack. The 23 gets back around. He's going to get a 2-for-1 special. He is not happy with the 23 there. He got clear of him, though.
Yeah, I think that was a situation of everyone trying to sort out how to be 3 wide there down the back straightaway as Alves trying to clear Picklesheimer. Not quite clear yet. Continues to have him just kind of glued to that right rear. As Picklesheimer now back on the offense in 1 and 2, trying to run a groove up. Alves wrapping the bottom. Looks like he'll have that position temporarily. Just cannot clear the 33 just yet. Some fantastic battling going on here. And this is deep in the pack. I mean, we're talking with folks outside the top 20. This is the battle for 6th. This is Robinson holding off Dakota Floyd.
Yeah, they went back and forth for a few laps as well. The 11 to 57. Floyd down 3 positions from the start of this race. Checking back in, though. Still trying to get an answer on what happened to the number 45. Tyler Harrison, 1 lap down, running at pace. Started on the pole. So this one stings a lot. Back in 30th, and they're just running around out here to the stage. Trying to maintain that first car a lap down.
Yeah, and he's doing what he can. You know, he's probably lucky that Caleb Gilbert didn't lose more time in his run through the grass earlier. Obviously, if there was a yellow there, it would have given Harrison the free pass, but, you know, that puts Caleb Gilbert now about half a lap behind Michael Call. We still got quite a few laps to go here in this stage if this were to go green the whole way. So this does raise an interesting situation for Harrison of just kind of hoping that he'll fall onto the right side of the strategy early as we jump on board with the race leader, Michael Call, who, I mean, he started 3rd and, you know, pretty quickly established himself to the front and has not looked back since.
And he's maintained that gap of about 4/10 at a minimum. But this racetrack notorious for scrubbing the tires. Very abrasive surface here today. Weather at the top of your screen. 77 degrees. Heat will not be a factor. Lights are on. What will be a factor is who's going to conserve the best. You mentioned it in the pre-race. It's going to take a lot of discipline here. You can watch Call. He maintains that half a second gap, but when you start seeing that gap grow, 3 or 4 tenths a lap, you're pushing the car too hard.
Yeah, 100%. And that's one of those situations of as these tires start to fall off, and we're just at that window where I think we'll start seeing the ramifications of who in those opening 18 have really pushed it and who haven't. We're just going to now start seeing that difference. And for the folks who really burned up their stuff in the opening 18 laps, they're going to really struggle to maintain this long run pace. But for the folks who did take a good job, wow, I can't speak right now. For the folks who did a good job keeping care of their stuff, they will have a tough time passing other folks who took care of their tires, because it's just a very difficult place to pass on old tires. And if the car in front of you hasn't burnt their stuff to a crisp, it's going to be a tricky situation unless they make a mistake going into one of these corners.
Got to ask you, Alex, did you hang out with Logan Threlkeld at any point this week? He was contagious with the words.
I think it's starting to spread.
Yeah. So we got to quarantine everybody at Vspeed. Keep him away from Alex right now. He's trying to pass it on. But this is 2 days in a row for me, and I haven't caught it yet, so I'm still working on it.
Speaking of working on it, Richardson, good battle there with Justin Ritchie and Ryan Munoz across the line. That's a little battle for position here as the 8 looking to the inside of the 81.
Race analysis on the left-hand side of your screen. I know we were kind of cut short there on the grid, and then we had what happened there to Tyler Harrison. So on the screen now, 150 laps. The pit road, not real difficult to get on and off of. 5 tire sets over the wall, 6 available, 1 on the car. But the stage at lap 45. Coming up on that, about halfway through now. At 50% fuel, half the distance. That's something that I kind of take away from this track is it's hard to estimate your fuel mileage. A lot of fuel calculators out there are based off of 1.5 or 1 mile ovals. So when we start ticking these laps away, we're kind of in a gray area for guys. And if there's anybody that comes to mind that might know the numbers better than anyone else, there he is.
Yeah, that might be someone to keep an eye on here as things go. Currently scored 21st. I mean, he's got long ways to go to get up into the mix here, but we've seen a lot of these strategy races this year fall his way. A pair of wins have come by nature of that, and you never know. Tonight could be another one of those nights where that becomes necessary. Now, I was trying to do the math, right, on how I thought this was going to fall. Typically on these 1.5 miles, we're looking at like 30 to 35 laps, give or take. On the 1 milers, you can bump that up to about 40 to 45. So realistically, I'm thinking, really, really poor man's estimate, 35 to 40 laps, which would fall just short of where that stage window falls here at lap 45.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a weird place to be in. And right now, we're halfway through this run. Nobody has made the call. Well, Dakota Floyd did. There he is.
Splitting this thing in half, it looks like, for the 57. Down and away goes Floyd. Good stop. No, he had a podium finish here at this very track over the weekend in SNR, so he knows what it takes to get it done, especially on the long run here. 7-second stop here for the 57. Here comes Kevin Orlando now into his box.
No other takers down pit road this time by 27 pits by his lonesome. Jacob Sirkovich. There's the 88.
Very slow trickle of cars to kick off this opening pit cycle. It's been about 1 a lap here for the past couple laps.
And now we're going to get multiples.
Comes the leader. Oh, and Call nearly loses it. Big save. And Burns made up a lot of time there on entry to pit road.
Ton of time right there. That's 4 or 5 tenths. Watch this.
Yeah, he was about 4 car lengths back. Call, and he locks it up, trying to get on the brakes, and Burns is able to drive it in really deep and got basically to the back bumper, is now into their boxes they go. Non-zero chance the 9 beats him out here. That was a fantastic entry from the 9.
It's about to get really good here for the end of this stage.
Oh, they're merging. Oh, how's that going to sort out now that they're off of pit road? iRacing did not like that. So for context, folks, if you're not aware, specifically in the pit boxes, there's no like tactile like hit box of where the car is, so you can kind of go in and out of each other a little bit. However, that stops when you leave pit road or get too far outside of the pit boxes. So when they left, all of a sudden, all of those cars became physical objects again. And I doubt it did any real damage, but you just never know with how iRacing's physics model goes.
It's also really hard to drive your car when you're inside of another one. So you're seeing someone else's dashboard. That's difficult. Rob Rader out of pit road as well. Brandon Richardson has hit pit lane. Michael Bennett down in the 14.
Tell you what, it's been a good start to the race here for the 14 for a guy coming in right around that cut line. Qualified well, ran well here those opening 30 laps. Looks like a good stop here for the 14 as well. He's down in the way. No problems there so far for Michael Bennett.
77 of Grant Thorpe pitting from the 8th position. Now going to lose a couple spots here. This all cycles through. We still have 10 cars out on the racetrack. Alex Forget, Likens, Alves, Nelson. We got Diaz, Turner, Picklesheimer, Gilbert, Schaefer. It looks like Diaz might be pitting this time around. He is. So 9 cars left to hit the pit lane. I just wonder if some of these guys are trying to push it all the way to the end of the stage.
There might be some folks trying to stretch it. I just don't know how far they can actually run. I suppose they might be able to run a bit longer than...
Oh,
Forget does not make... Oh, wait, he does. He almost...
Somehow.
Yeah, I think him actually spinning out saved him there from not overshooting pit lane. That was not good for the 19. It could have been catastrophic for the 19. Man, what a save to get that thing slowed down. That was... It's one of those moments that really wakes you up 30 laps into a race if you're a driver.
Yeah.
Oh, big wreck on the back straightaway. Parker Johnson and Sam Taylor in it.
Caution's out. Diaz as well. Doesn't look like these cars really got much damage from this. 26 of Diaz.
Relatively unscathed. Little left front damage there for Johnston, I think. What happened here? Oh, so they were already spinning, and Diaz was trying to come off of pit road, and that was absolutely wrong place, wrong time for the 26. So something happened here, though, between the 3 and the 48. Well, Sam Taylor really missed the line there, I think, in 1 and 2. Oh, and he was trying to get back down as the 48's coming up out of the corner. That is, I'm shocked they don't have bigger damage. They hit each other with some force there.
Able to save it off the wall, but just comes down, and Parker Johnston's coming up. Johnston gets a little right front damage, and then Diaz, just innocent bystander, just trying to leave pit road.
And honestly, it's wild that I'm thinking in my head that that's a real like racing incident, but you know, the closing rate there was so different. The spotters probably didn't kick in for either of them. If you're Johnson, you assume that the 3 probably tagged the wall, so you think you're going to come up and clear them, no problem. And if you're the 3, you're just trying to get back on the throttle to, you know, not lose out big time, and they all kind of just come together there. And then Kyle Diaz truly just kind of wrong place, wrong time. That was it could not have drawn it up any worse there for the 26 of where those cars landed coming out of turn 2. But that did work out for the folks who had yet to come down pit road. Free opportunity under yellow, not losing any track position for the most part. You know, they'll still cycle back behind a lot of folks, but I think there was some folks who I don't think got their, who may not have gotten their lap back.
Yeah, this list of Dakota Floyd, Brandon Richardson's in there. Carter Lenz ended up a lap down, the 55 of Richie Bennett, all the way up to the 53 of Rob Rader. He was the first car Actually, it's going to be Christopher Schaefer, the first car, I think, was a lap down. But over half this field ended up a lap down because of that.
And that is, there's a lot of people who do not want to see that. I'm sure one of those folks would also be the 45, unless he ran this thing as long as he could, trying to get back on the lead lap.
Well, we have an opportunity here. Let's find out what happened. I got to know the answer here.
Let's see if we can find the 45. Here he is. I'll bring him in.
Tyler Harrison, Bradley Cooper, Alex Gagnon in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you guys.
What happened on that start?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I might have pulled the Denny Hamlin. I might have gotten a push. I'm just not 100% sure. I'd have to go back and look. But, caution played out in my favor. Just going to see if I can nurse it to the end, keep the tires on the thing, and hopefully get back on the lead lap and see if we can get back up in the front.
Well, Tyler, if you do win this race, I will officially say that that's the way to get around Nashville. Start on the pole, get a black flag, and then go out there and win it.
So I have a good stat for you, and ever since I've started in this league, and I've been in this league for I think like 4 years now, 3 or 4. Every time I've started on the pole, I've never led the first lap for some way, shape, or form. It is like the craziest. I don't know if like I'm cursed if I start on the pole or like what happens, but the streak continues tonight, and this is the most creative way that has happened. So I don't know, man. I guess it'll make for an interesting race for me. I didn't really want to battle in dirty air most of the night, but the recharge rally, Camry is a pretty strong car tonight. We had a really good qualifying, ran good in officials this week, so fingers crossed we have a much better week than Charlotte, and if not, can get back up to the front, at least into a top 10, get the good points today. We really need it.
You're driving a Toyota. You're in 11th position on top of that while we're talking to you, so a lot of things come together. Hopefully we'll talk to you post-race.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
Tyler Harrison going to restart in 11th, back on the lead lap now. Alex Gagnon, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. But what I do know is Michael Collins and Sam Taylor are going to be side by side on this restart. And it was Sam Taylor earlier that had problems.
Yeah, that is actually a bit surprising. I don't know if the 3 came down pit road at all. So yeah, Sam Taylor, the control car here, I think, into this restart. So it's going to be him and Michael Call. Green flags back in the air. Here goes the 3. Got a fairly good launch. I mean, you see how long that line on the inside was. It's now the 3 pulling off out of the way. Probably a wise move there from Sam Taylor, trying to get this thing sort of back out, maybe back down the pit road.
A lot going on back here for 6th position. Look at the 3 wide just back here with Schaefer. Stuck in the middle. 87 contact. 88 to the outside. He's going to save it off the wall. They're 4 wide off of 4.
Oh, and it's still getting dicey in the middle of the pack here. Rob Rader kind of caught in the middle of it. Same with Trevor Keith. Watching this unfold as he tries looking to the inside of Sirkovich. Meanwhile, Trevor Earhart now the middle of 3 wide, trying to get on by Christopher Schaefer. He will. And fantastic stuff going on here on this restart. Not a lot of time to go make something happen here. Stage at lap 45. Only a few more laps to go there.
Alex Forget. Trevor Keith on the edge of that. The 7 of Joe Joya a lap down. This is the edge of the top 10 for stage points. Most positions gained is the 39 of Grant Turner. 23 spots up.
Yeah, he's up the 4th now, and he's looking for more. He's up there battling with Nick Alves at the moment. Just behind them, this is Picklesheimer and Grant Thorpe battling each other. Picklesheimer holding that 7th spot is now the 45. I believe just came down pit road to get service done.
Had to.
Stayed out to get back on the lead lap. Now stretched that thing about as far as he could. So getting to lap 40. Oh, Rob Rader getting right to the door of Picklesheimer. I think there was a little bit of contact there off of 4. Just kind of picked him up and moved him up the racetrack there.
5 laps to go in stage number 1. A battle for 7th. 53 just gets clear, and he slots in. That's Picklesheimer. Rader's loose. Wrecking on the backstretch.
Oh, heavy contact there for Rader. Down into the infield he goes. Meanwhile, car still spinning on the backstretch. Joe Joy is around. And that brings out the yellow here on lap 41, which, since it's within the last 5 laps before the stage, this will count as our stage caution. So Michael Call will be credited as the stage winner here, but a ton of cars mangled up there just a moment ago.
There's your top 10. In the stage, Michael Call led 29 of the 42 in the stage 1. He'll lead all the way as they call this top 10.
How long have you been sitting on that one?
I've done this before. Like Gonzalez, Turner, Nelson, the top 5. Gilbert, Picklesheimer, Keith, Robinson, and Earhart for the 10th position. We're going to go down pit road, and we'll get a replay of that in just a moment. We kind of saw it in real time, though, with Rob Rader. Got to the inside of Picklesheimer. Just a tough drive off of 2, and it looks like the 53 probably done for the day.
If that's the case, that would be a tough end there. You know, he was building some momentum here with some good runs over the past couple weeks. Early exit here, and he's not the only one. I mean, we've got a couple of cars who really got beat up there, but Michael Call now down into his pit box. Right side's up as now here comes Jeremy Burns. Caleb Gilbert, though, the first guy off pit road. Picklesheimer, Nelson, a couple of the other early cars off. I think a lot of folks who may have taken fuel only if they had taken tires just before that stage yellow. So here's the replay of that caution. So this is, we'll start here. And looks like the 53 just gets loose coming off a 2. Try saving it, can't do it. Hard back there, and then something happens in the aftermath of what happened there with Picklesheimer and Rader that collects Orlando, Schaefer, and Joya. Take a look here. This is with the 27. Already cars scattering everywhere. Boy, that actually may have just been some really gnarly net code there for Kevin Orlando. I don't know if he actually made any contact.
I think he got loose there, hitting the brakes. Locked the car up a little bit.
Yeah, you see he's definitely getting off the throttle. Oh, yeah. Just maybe a little overcorrection when the car was already unsettled.
But again, going back here, let's go on board. Rob Rader gets really loose. Clips the back end of the 33 of Picklesheimer. Does a heck of a job of finding a hole to come down the racetrack. I thought that was going to be it, but then we end up having the yellow to end stage 1. And it's going to be the number 5 of Michael Call, who gets it.
Did a fantastic job in that opening stage. That 5 car's got a lot of pace, looks really strong in clean air at the moment. This will be a real test, I think, for the 5 to see how it handles with a little bit of traffic in front of them. You know, these folks in front of them, I think, are on a bit of a tire detriment, but definitely are going to be quick enough here to pose a bit of a challenge. We'll see how fast the 5 can work through them as the pace car peels off.
There we go for stage number 2 at Nashville Music City 200. Back underway.
Caleb Gilbert peels off down the racetrack. So Jeremiah Nelson now likens the battle for the race lead here off of turn 2. And Picklesheimer getting down to the inside lane. He's thinking about maybe making it 3 wide as he follows Nelson. As the 31 now to the point. Picklesheimer shoots it through to second. Here comes Call on the inside.
And a restart violation there for Likens. I don't know if they're going to clear this, but I think it came for the 54 of Gilbert just dropping down off the racetrack. He also got a black flag. So restart violations bad here tonight.
Yeah, we've seen a couple. You know, every so often you see a bug that bites a field at a given racetrack. You know, sometimes it's a lot of speeding penalties, or sometimes a lot of like wall contact off of 2 or off of 4. Tonight it seems to be the theme that the restart zone maybe in a bit of a tricky spot here for these drivers. Is if that is the case of what happened, that'd be, I think, our second and then third restart violation of the night, less than a third of the way into this thing.
Side by side here for the 5th spot. Nick Alves, Trevor Keith. 15 didn't know if he was going to make it this weekend. Looks like he's got it figured out for this one, but moved into a new location here. Take a look at this.
Oh, check it out. New spot here for TK.
Hasn't quite got everything hung up just yet. But he does have it hung up in the 5th position.
Yeah, he's looking pretty fast so far. Oh man, there was almost a bit of contact there with Robinson. I think an Earhart coming off the corner, or maybe it was Justin Ritchie. There's a large collection of cars forming here behind the 6th spot. Robinson has got quite the crowd tailing him. There's now Earhart and Alves duking it out here for the 7th spot. Ritchie in there with Linz. Been a bit of a quiet night so far for the 66. Haven't talked about him a ton, but he's worked his way into the top 10 now. Oh, Christopher Schaefer around off of turn 2. He is lawn mowing the back straightaway. Don't know if he had any help or if he just got loose, but would not be the first time we've seen someone lose it off of turn 2 here tonight. Also saw that with Caleb Gilbert earlier and with Rob Rader a moment ago, and yeah, back end just steps out on him. I think with how cold this racetrack is, there's a little bit of a situation where drivers are running into the back of the car wanting to outrun the front when they get back on the throttle, especially off of turn 2, and it's been a couple of them here already.
Trevor Earhart able to clear all of this. Car in the wall just ahead of him. Battle for the 4th spot. Dakota Floyd recovers back up to the top 5. And going after the 15. Looking for maybe another spot here on Picklesheimer. Going to the top 3. Look at that.
Yeah, the 57 showing some muscle here as he works his way past Picklesheimer and Trevor Keith. Trevor Keith gonna be right in his tire tracks though, coming off the corner. We jump on board here. This is Trevor Earhart, who's currently sitting in that 7th spot. And he is starting to close in on Matt Robinson and this train of cars from 3rd on back. They have lost touch though with the race leaders. Jeremiah Nelson, Michael Call about 2 seconds clear of this bunch. And we've only been a handful of laps since that restart.
Joe Joya down on the apron. Black flag for the 7 car.
There's also some significant front-end damage to that machine. I don't know if that's related to the incident he was in earlier or if this is something unrelated, but wide entry there,
I
just
mean,
barely making it down pit road.
You already
That
got the
7 looks
black
like a
flag.
handful right now.
Might as well just take it to the garage.
Meanwhile, up front, Michael Call applying the pressure here, trying to take the race lead away. Jeremiah Nelson is right there holding the top spot, but he's got a lot of that blue and red number 5 in the mirror.
Fastest car on the racetrack last time by was the 5.
All working that apron, closing into the back bumper of Nelson off of turn 4. Down across the stripe. It's only a car length between the two of them. And as we're watching this battle unfold, not too often I feel like this season we've had a chance to watch these guys battle it out for the top spot. You know, Nelson and Calls. Dylan Picklesheimer had a massive moment through 1 and 2. I think he almost lost it going through the middle of the corner there and had to do a big time save. saved the car, but lost about 5 or 6 spots. Take a look at this. As he gets in, the back end just snaps on him immediately, able to hold on to it, but about 5 or 6 cars go on by.
And damage picked up there by Carter Lenz in the midst of that. Front end of that 66 Lenz heating and cooling machine. Now looking a little bit tight here off the corner. That damage affected him.
Yeah, that being a bit tight might be an understatement there, as that car did not rotate at all coming off the corner. Some right front damage. Now that 66 has looked like it's been through a war already. And I think a lot of that has just come from this stint since the restart. Battle in here, he's got Rob Rader on the inside. This is the battle for 12th. 53 has rebounded pretty big from that early incident with turn 2, as he now works his way into the 12th spot. Here comes Michael Bennett trying to get into this picture as well.
Bennett will go to the inside of Lenz in 3 and 4. Also has the damaged Rob Rader. In the 53, here comes the 48. 48 is a lap down, I believe. Parker Johnson running at 24th.
Yeah, and right now he's going to have a tough time if he wants to get back on the lead lap. Al Lyken's first car 1 lap down, and he was up there by the race leaders the last time we saw him. So about 5 seconds of racetrack between this group of cars, maybe more. As this battle continues, here's Harrison.
For the lead lap. This is for the free pass.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. They're both still behind Likens, who's up by the leaders. You know, if something happens to the 13, that will be the battle for it. But right now, Likens has just tucked himself into a spot where he is in good shape to get that free pass. But yeah, every position gonna help is a big move there. I think that was Justice Murphy closing off the 66.
Battle for the lead, heating back up. Nelson still has the top spot. We've made mention of it a few times this season. The 31 car has looked really fast this year. It was just a matter of time. He's found the lead.
Yeah, and he's got it, but maybe not for long here. He's led 15 laps. Michael Call trying to end the run there as he gets to the inside in 3 and 4. Got a little tight through the middle of the corner, though. Not able to get back onto the throttle as fast as he wanted. Nelson holds on to that spot for now. And this is what we were talking about at the start of the show, where if you start having some worn tires, making a pass like this starts getting really, really difficult, because you can't really go to the outside because you can't maintain that momentum. But if you get to the inside, sometimes it's really easy just to prevent that car trying to pass you from getting back onto the throttle. You pinch him down even the slightest bit, and there is no chance that that car is going to have the ability to rotate. So this is a bit of a nightmare scenario right now for Michael Call. I think he's a little bit faster than the 31, but he has to be a good deal faster, I think, to complete this pass.
So Jeremiah Nelson going to continue to lead some laps here in the Chapman Cup Series. 62 out of 150 will be completed as they come off of turn 4. 1.33 miles. The fuel calculator, somewhere around that 40 lap mark, as mentioned in the pre-race. Should see drivers, Jeremiah Nelson, 20 laps on the stint, so we've got about another 20 laps on fuel.
And they're just gapping the field right now. It's 2.5 seconds back to Trevor Keith. And that's another 7/10 back to Robinson and Floyd. I mean, they are really opening up the gap. The Clean Air doing wonders for them at the moment.
Well, we're going to take you side by side, get a word from some of our sponsors here at the Chapman Cup Series. Again, you're watching Vspeed. We'll be back in just a moment.
Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
Welcome back here to Nashville Super Speedway, where the caution has just come out. Jacob Sirkovich, I believe, involved in this one. We're going to take a quick instant replay to find out what happened to the 88. Looks like another case of losing it by yourself.
Yeah, so this is him coming down the back straightaway, and I believe this is going through 3 and 4 is where the issue arises. We will take a look here to confirm. Oh, yeah, I think he may have been trying to get slowed down to come down pit road and just caught the apron and absolutely lost it. Heavy contact. And that's super unfortunate because that actually closed the pits because of the caution, so he couldn't even bring it back down at first. So tough situation there for the 88, but a timely caution here for the leaders who have run about 25 laps or so on this stint. So prime opportunity for fuel and tires as the whole field, not named Al Likens, going to come down pit road. Likens, of course, the first car 1 lap down and will be getting the free pass.
So you had some interesting, fun statistics for us after these pit stops.
Yeah, 100%. You know, we were watching that great battle between Michael Call and Jeremiah Nelson here for the race lead. Well, wouldn't you know it, both of these guys have absolutely more than doubled their season total on the laps led counter tonight with the way this one's gone. Jeremiah Nelson came in tonight only leading 13 laps. And how many is he up to now there, Bradley, as he wins the race off of pit road ahead of the 5 by just a nose? He's up to 23. So, you know, he's almost doubled the amount of laps led on the season. And Michael Call, to his credit, he's led 18 laps on the season before tonight. He's up to 31 just this evening alone. So, bit of a night where the series is getting tossed on its head a little bit, dare I say.
Well, there was another interesting stat that you had for us, and I guess I gave it away already, but who's led the most laps this season?
Yeah, you know, contrary to what you might think, despite him not being one of the multi-time winners this season, Dakota Floyd does have the most laps led this season at 273 coming into tonight's race. Carter Lynn's, Jeremy Burns, of course, multi-time winners this season, 2nd and 3rd, and our other multi-time winner, Grant Turner, currently in the, I want to say, the 8th spot for laps led this season. So yeah, definitely, you know, laps led isn't always the best indicator of, you know, overall success. But it is one of those things that's interesting to keep an eye on, and especially for these two guys at the front right here, Nelson and Call. I mean, that number is going to be far more reflective of how their season's going after tonight, because they are putting in a ton of work here at the front of the field.
So it will be the 31 as the command car for this restart. We've had officially 3 cautions, one of those counting as the stage on lap 41. This 3rd caution coming out for Jacob Sirkovich. But the 31 of Jeremiah Nelson is feeling pretty good so far. We're only halfway through it though. Still got a lot of racing left to be done. The usual names haven't gotten up here yet.
Yeah, it's certainly been not in a bad way, but it's definitely been a bit of a surprise to see who our lead cars have been tonight, but it's been an interesting one to see how this unfolds as the green flag back in the air just before the halfway point. Nelson on the throttle. We'll see if everyone got off on the restart cleanly. We know that's been a bit of a trouble spot for the field here tonight.
I think we're good. I don't see any black flags. And the 31 really close to the wall there, but he's going to get away with it.
Here comes Keith back to the inside on Robinson. Not clear yet. Tried sliding up, but did not have the room. Going to cost him that momentum. He'll settle back in the fourth in front of Burns. Burns now looking to the outside off the back bumper here of Matt Robinson. And this is some frantic battling here while everyone's grouped up and on fresh tires. The best opportunity to try to make up positions on the racetrack as we jump on board. Here is the 11 of Matt Robinson, currently scored in that third position.
Going to watch this battle in front for the lead. The 5 has not figured out the recipe to get around the 31, but he's got a decent run here off the corner. Robinson looking patient.
Yeah, this is a situation where you just kind of watch these guys go to work, and the moment they get side by side, it's going to allow you to start getting into the picture. Yeah, they are leaning on each other now. Oh, Raiders around off of turn 2.
Caution's out. Nelson had the lead at that moment of caution. Close call again here. 53 got loose.
Yeah, it's identical to what happened to him the first time he went around. Trying to get back onto the throttle too quick, and back end just steps out on him. So take one more look here. This is that battle for the lead, and this is that big contact that we were talking about. Oh yeah, they got a piece of each other there. And then Nelson got a piece of the wall. And the caution comes out right about there, just before the 5 lets off the gas. So Nelson only had about a nose ahead when that yellow came out, but that's enough to retain the lead, despite the contact.
Well, let's pull him in here. Is Jeremiah Nelson available? That's my question.
Yeah, let's take a look. Where is he?
Slightly dangerous racing driver, I believe.
Yep, here we go. All right.
Jeremiah Nelson, it is Bradley Cooper and Alex Gagnon. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
So far, so good. You've led more laps in this race. You doubled your numbers now. How are you feeling after starting in 26th?
Yeah, I caught a lucky break on that caution and somehow cycled up here to the front. I don't know how. Some way we're up here, and these guys are they're pretty fast on the short run if I can hang on, but we'll see.
Defending really well against Michael Call, who you are now competing with for the most laps led in this one so far. Your stage winner just behind you. But you've looked fast at other places, and I think this is maybe the one.
I hope so, man. But I just want to thank all the guys in the league for letting me come run, and I try to be clean out here, man. But some things happen, and
yeah, a little contact. Little contact there just a moment before that caution. Any hard feelings so far?
Me and Kyle race pretty good together for the most part. It's gonna be for the win, or you know how it is.
Jeremiah Nelson, we'll put you back up there. Slightly dangerous racing driver in the 31. Good luck.
Thank you, Brad.
Well, he's humble. He's just thanking people. I mean, some of these guys get a taste for the lead and it goes to their head, but he's pretty content with, just let's turn some laps. Let's see where it goes. We're at the halfway mark. What did you say?
Quite literally just hitting that mark now. There's a lot of race still to go, but you couldn't draft it a better first half right now if you're the 31.
I think for this one, we're going to give you a preemptive. Find the volume knobs. Turn up the hearing aids. Let's piss off your neighbors. We're going to get maxed out here on Vspeed for this restart. And watch the 31 and the 5 battle it out. Matt Robinson, Trevor Keith, Jeremy Burns, the top 5. Also have Justin Ritchie there on the outside with Floyd, Alves, Murphy, and Richardson in the top 10. iRacing pace car will pull off this time. So go ahead and turn up the volume. Maxed out here on Vspeed. We're going to be changing that to rev it up here in just a few weeks. But watching this top 10, they are all over the place. Dakota Floyd, Justice Murphy side by side. This is for the 7th spot.
Yeah, we got a good battle going on between these two. If you're just joining us late, Bradley Cooper is, of course, our host. I'm Alex Gagnon. Custom cameras provided, of course, by Dougie Beer. And this is the Chapman Cup Series here on Wednesday nights from Racing Revolution. This is Nashville Super Speedway, and we've had ourselves a barn burner to this point, just like this battle here between Floyd and Justice Murphy as they're trying to sort it out. Murphy's got the spot for now as some big moves happening back in the field. Rob Rader, Grant Thorpe battling out just behind this as Floyd and Murphy almost get together. Man, there's some fantastic stuff as we're watching from the blimp cam.
Wood hasn't gotten that front end damage repaired, but somebody that did get damage repaired is Carter Lenz. Looks to the outside, starting to pick up some positions. He got a little bit of it fixed there. Had about 50 seconds in the box. He's still got a little bit of left front on that car, but it's looking a lot better in the speed category now. And hell, that might be just the paint scheme. Now that I look at it, I think that car's clean.
Yeah, it might be, or at least as clean as it's going to be. As honestly, I don't know if this was by design or not, but the 66 and the 12 kind of look like fun foils of each other. It almost looks like they're doing the alternates with their paint schemes of one another. But some fun stuff going on here. And back up at the front, I got to say, man, Michael Call continues to knock on the door of Jeremiah Nelson. And to this point, has not found a way through. But he is, I mean, he is glued to the back bumper right now. I mean, you could reach out and just grab the spoiler of that 31 if you wanted.
Nelson was good, though. He defended well. The call had gotten to the outside there on that restart. And Nelson was able to pull ahead. So fantastic job here by the 31 to keep the lead. And they have left the field again, 7/10.
Yeah, it's crazy the pace differential they're pulling out from the rest of the field here. As you see, Trevor Keith, Jeremy Burns, third and fourth. This call maybe going to get a run here off of 4. Oh, a little bit of contact. That's going to open the door. Inside now goes the 5 into turn 1.
Well, as soon as we talked about it, he's going to have to defend again. Nelson's going to give up the spot. Oh, he had the throttle.
Yeah, I don't know if that was full speed or if he maybe cut him a little bit of a break there, because that was going to put them both in a really vulnerable spot. But regardless, Michael Call back to the point here on lap 86. Now the shoe's on the other foot. Does the 31 have something to reel in Michael Call here? Tell you what, though, that 5 looks fast. He looks really fast in clean air at the start of this thing. Does he pull away from Nelson and Co.?
This last time by, it looks like it. 2 or 3 tenths faster that time around. They're already halfway through the stint.
Oh, big wreck in the back.
Oh.
Richardson's around, gets a piece of Pamatat. Oh, and the 8 now up into the fence. Yellow is out. The 8 and the 87 both with some non-insignificant damage. That looks not great here for Richardson. There is the driver of the 8 and just getting that thing going back to pit road, but definitely nursing it.
And
the gloves are coming off.
Yep.
That's not a good sign. Oh, man. At least from that first angle, I think he might have good reason to be mad there. I think he may have just gotten run over going in 3. Take another look here. Rob Rader, the car behind him. Yeah, just kind of gets to the inside, knocks him out the way. And looks like the 8 had it saved for the most part, but in trying to collect it, came back down toward the apron, and that was where Brandon Pamatat kind of had nowhere to go. And the 87 also ended up sideways out of this, so multiple cars collected in that one. As you see, the 87 just now getting going, but he's got some pretty gnarly right front damage here. Oh yeah, that right front wheel isn't even moving.
Yeah, you can see the rotor locked up on it.
Yeah, and you can see that rotor glowing big time.
The details on iRacing sometimes just insane.
It's unreal. You know, every so often, you know, we'll talk about, like, you know, if there's a netcode thing, we'll make fun of iRacing a bit for their stuff, but genuinely, there is not another game, sim, whatever you want to call it, in the world that runs like this thing. I mean, there is a lot of things that you just go, wow, this is as real as it's going to get. Yeah.
Yep. Well, outside of putting yourself in harm's way, but watch this. Jeremy Burns is going to take over the lead here and a little bit of strategy. Look at this.
Oh, wow. You know, it's not too often we see the 9 make that strategy call, but I don't hate that at all tonight. Passing has been difficult. Track position's going to be important, and the 9 just gave himself the best shot at it here. It's a lot easier to defend here, I think, than go on the attack. And also, very notably, it looks like the 31 beat the 5 off of pit road. So all that work Michael Call put in to get that spot, he's going to have to go right back to it here. But they've got a few more cars now to contend with, including a front row of Jeremy Burns and Rob Rader.
Yeah, Call actually missed the box there. Had 15 seconds in the stall. So not a good stop there for the 5. But you got Christopher Schaefer up here, Matt Robinson, Rob Rader. I don't know how I feel about it, Alex. I mean, yeah, it's been difficult to pass, but fuel only, and we've got, what, 20 laps on the tires, roughly? Track position?
At least more than 10, yeah. So, like, it's asking a lot of those tires that have already been on the car. I think Burns is going to have a better shot out of here than Rader, because I think Rader may have, burned up a bit of his stuff in that previous, the previous incident from a moment ago. So the 9 maybe in slightly better position to take advantage of this, but I think they're still fighting a bit of an uphill battle here because Michael Call and Jeremiah Nelson are not all that far behind them.
Burns, the command car for this restart. About to go back green here at Nashville. Into the restart zone we go. Oh, a lot of wheel spin in the background. The 5 of Call loses a ton of ground.
That he does, and it's almost 4 wide. It's going to stay 3 wide as Trevor Keith trying to work the outside of the hill. Not going to work. Justin Ritchie slides up in front of him, takes that spot. More moves as, Justice Murphy basically just tried shoving Al Likens out of the way to get down to the bottom of the racetrack. That was a fascinating watch there down the back straightaway. They're 3 wide off the corner. Nick Alves with nowhere to go.
They're looking 4 wide. There's Harrison. It's tight. He found a slot. Just barely.
I can't believe that didn't end with like a 4-car pileup. Unbelievable.
They're still working on it.
Oh yeah, they're not trying to keep it safe at the moment. That's for sure. Some of these moves, they're just asking for something to happen, but somehow we stay green and everyone is in one piece.
Schaefer in the middle, Thorpe on the bottom. Actually, that's the 12 of Murphy in the middle. Schaefer on the outside.
Got Al Likens now working the inside of Schaefer. This is the battle for 12th as they go into the corner. Alves and Orlando Jr. battling just behind them, side by side. And Likens will clear for that 12th spot. He's on the way up. He was a lap down earlier in this race. Same with Harrison back in 18th. They're starting to rally here.
Did you do that on purpose?
No.
You don't even know what you did.
Took me a minute. Did not realize. That's funny.
Oh, contact with
Taylor.
a 3.
I think Dakota Floyd and Sam Taylor got into it. Oh, and he can't save it. Hard into the outside wall, back across the racetrack, directly in front of traffic. Somehow I think we're staying green off of that, though. He slid down right in front of traffic. I'm really surprised iRacing did not call the yellow there. Right here. Yeah, Caleb Gilbert was inches away from that being a massive collision. And somehow iRacing said, nope, all's fair, play on.
Just a slight touch there.
Yeah. And that, that's a situation that, Sam Taylor, I think, knows he has a car to the outside. Floyd's expecting a little bit more room to the inside and, just not a great scenario all around, but really, really unfortunate break there for what's already been a frustrating day for Sam Taylor. But Jeremy Burns now sitting in the top spot. He's putting some distance with that clean air.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
boy.
Jeremiah Nelson, Rob Rader were throwing some haymakers there off of 4. The 53's on some older tires, and Nelson was one of those 2 cars with Michael Call on fresh tires, trying to make their way back through the field, and that was almost a mess. But Nelson clears them here for 4th, or for 3rd, sorry. .97 laps down, just over 50-some to go here from Nashville. Jeremy Burns leads over Robinson, Nelson, Rader, and Earhart. Nelson and Michael Call in that 6th spot. I believe the first car is on fresher tires as Earhart's going to try to get around Rader here. But yeah, Jeremy Burns' strategy call so far working out pretty well for the 9. That clean air has been paying some massive dividends. It's the 5 of Call now trying to work the outside of Rader to a varying level of success as they try to work this out in the 1. Call's still going to hang on the outside here into the corner.
Clean air behind the 9. Jeremy Burns loving what he's seeing in the mirror right now. Robinson and Nelson. Pretty big gap between these cars.
This is exactly what Jeremy Burns was hoping for on this strategy call, was to get out into some clean air and allow him to do exactly what he wanted to do, even though he was on the tire deficit. And that has really come to fruition here. He has just been able to cruise so far since this restart. 3/4 of a second, the gap back to Matt Robinson. And we know the 9's good enough to convert here if he's got his strategy in the right position. Theoretically, if you pit about 10 laps from now, you might be able to make it to the end of this thing. Or at least that's just from what my math is telling me. So I think there's going to be a lot of folks trying to get to that lap 110 mark so they can make this thing on one more stop, which would be pretty huge if this thing were to stay green. On board here with Trevor Earhart, trying to knock down the back bumper of Rob Rader right now for the 5th spot.
And Earhart has been consistent today, mostly in the top 10 to start this race off. Started in the 5th position. Down 1 spot, trying to get back around the 53. But Trevor Earhart has looked fantastic. We'll continue to keep an eye on what he's doing in this top 10. Likens and Keith battling for the 10th spot there just a moment ago, and it's Grant Thorpe now who's under fire. Thorpe, another one of those cars, just ahead of the 15, and a little contact there. We're still trying to get it sorted through 3. Curse of the commentator for the 10 of Thorpe.
Yeah, Thorpe on the outside now, trying to get around the 15, and 1 and 2 is running the groove off the bottom. TK and that blue and orange KSX machine glued to the bottom of the racetrack is someone sideways in the back. Want to say it may have been Ryan Munoz. Yes, the 81 off track trying to get back onto the racing surface, and just about lost it. Able to lock it down, but oh man, this is just turning disastrous now for the 81. As he's trying to get this thing under control. That is a wily beast right now that he's trying to wrangle.
Ride the Dente is what that looked like.
Oh, big time. There we go. On board here with Munoz coming off of turn 2, just like we've seen with Rader and Caleb Gilbert earlier tonight. Back end just loves to step out there, especially if you're in a side-by-side battle, or if you have a car behind you, maybe just a little bit of air not hitting that back spoiler, and taking a little bit of downforce out of it. Back end stepping out. Around she goes. And none of those, for the most part, have been cautious tonight, except for the one Rob Rader one where he shot back up the racetrack as opposed down into the grass. And that is something I'm sure that Jeremy Burns is going to be pretty happy to see here, as he's opened up that gap now to 0.9 of a second over Robinson. And Robinson's starting to, maybe get some company here from Jeremiah Nelson, as the 31 and the 5 starting to close in.
Yeah, last time by they were a little bit faster. Nelson actually the fastest car in the top 3 with a 30.219. We'll put that up on the screen before it goes away. How long does that last?
That is the question. Seeing those lap times fairly consistent across the board. Basically a dead heat between Birds and Robinson that last time around. Call just a touch quicker, though, than Nelson, who's a touch quicker than both of those cars in front of him. So they're starting to make a little bit of forward headway, but it is very slow progress right now for the 31 and the 5. So they sit 3rd and 4th.
Now, Alex, I got to ask you, what time is the right time? We're just about at that window of 40 laps to go. Do you undercut and go a full 40? Do you run it out here to split it halfway? Maybe a lap 120 or so? What's the right call for the end of this race?
I think personally, the right move depends on if you're running toward the front or the back of the field. I think if you're running up toward the front, you can afford to run your tank a little lower this time, spend a little less time on pit road, and shorten up that last run to the end so you can really be aggressive on the tires. I think if you're toward the back, though, you take a chance, you try to pit early, and then hope you work your way into some sort of situation where you cycle back onto the lead lap, and then maybe there's a caution before the rest of the leaders have pit, and you can find yourself with some track position that you didn't have before this. But I think ultimately, whatever you can do to shorten up that last stop is probably going to be helpful. The least amount of time that you can physically spend on pit road, I think, is going to be advantageous if you're able to pull it off. But you don't want to be trapped out there if there's a yellow, which we have seen quite a few tonight.
And if you're Tyler Harrison right now, I think you come down pit road in these next 5 laps or so. I think you stand to gain more. You're in that middle of the pack. I don't know what your opinion is on that, but I think the 45 could gain 6 or 7 at least. He's all over the back of Likens. I think he can gain up into the top 5 if he executes.
Yeah, he certainly might be able to. Got ourselves a fascinating turn of things. I mean, both Likens and Harrison, a crazy day as it's been going on. This is the highest Tyler Harrison has run all day, and he's our pole sitter. Currently sitting in that 12th position, knocking on the door of breaking back into the top 10 for the first time since the opening lap of the race. South Dakota Floyd in tow as well. Only 23 cars remain on the lead lap. Potentially soon to be 22 if Ryan Munoz ends up going a lap down from Jeremy Burns here, as he's 29 seconds back as we watch this battle for 11th continue. Likens trying to hold on as Tyler Harrison applying the pressure.
Harrison on the back end of the 13. We'll go into turn 1 to look to the outside. Likens has done a great job defending so far. Mirrorful. Harrison got a little bit tight there off the corner, bailed out for the 13, who just tagged the wall.
On board here with the 45 as they make their way across the stripe. And into turn 1, driving in a little deep, maybe trying to get to the outside of Likens this time. Just not quite able to keep the throttle all the way down. Likens holds on to the spot, but Likens is starting to get accordioned here a little bit as they are knocking down the door of Grant Thorpe. And that's the car in 10th, is now side by side for 11th they go.
.45 does have the advantage off the exit, but stays door to door with the 13. I think he was trying to maybe use the 77 as a pick, but once they got side by side, almost contact off of turn 2. Dakota Floyd looking patient behind this. Still close racing off of 4. Recharge rally 45. Just gets clear.
And now he'll move up into that 11th spot. They've lost some of that gap out to Grant Thorpe here because of that battle. And as this has been a very interesting, the top 10 has really kind of fanned out pretty significantly here outside of this battle for 4th as Michael Call, Rob Rader starting to re-find each other on the racetrack here after Call got by about 10 laps ago. But this is going to make the pit cycle, I think, a little maybe almost easier for some of the drivers in the field because they're not going to be worried too much about pressure directly behind them when they go to make their stop.
Trevor Keith and Carter Lentz change for position. Lentz moves up to 8th. That's a recovery of a race right there. It started out rough, got damage on the front end, has repaired it, back to the top 10. But we haven't said Lentz's name in the top 5 all night.
No, it's been a very uncharacteristic night for Carter Lentz. I mean, he's running 8th, but that's about as high as we've seen him run with how good of a season he's had to this point. It's hard to call a top 10 an off night, but I mean, no laps led, and we haven't seen him in the top 5 at all. A little bit uncharacteristic here of the 66. He's still going to be in a spot potentially to grind out a good points day, but I don't think that was quite what we were anticipating here with how good of a season it's been to this point for the 66.
I agree 100% there, Alex. Jeremy Burns, still your leader. The staying out. I mean, you'll only stop Gets out to the clean air, pulls away 1.9 seconds. I don't think I predicted that. I thought maybe, okay, yeah, he's got track position. He'll run up here at second, third spot. Jeremiah Nelson, Michael Call will go back at it as we've seen prior to this. But he got out there in that clean air and drove away from the field.
Yeah, unbelievably so. And we're seeing a couple takers now for pit road. Trevor Keith, Carter Linz amongst them. So back half of the top 10 guys. And, you know, we were talking a little bit earlier, you know, if you were a little further back from that lead group, maybe think about pitting a touch earlier than the leaders. Try to, you know, flip the strategy a little bit, make something happen. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Tyler Harrison down on pit road as well. Matt Robinson now making his stop, same with Michael Call. So some of the leaders coming down pit road this time around. Notably not Jeremy Burns yet, though. The 11 and the 5, the 9 and the 31, and the 53 staying out another time.
Here comes a 9.
He's got the top 3 with him. So Al Likens will cycle to the lead here. And this will be really critical to see how this stop goes. Nelson down in his box. The 9 and the 53 just getting to there. Same with the 41. 10.7 in the box for Nelson. Right on pace with a lot of these other pit stops. 10.5 for Burns. 10.7 for Rader. So everyone about the same spot leaving pit road as they entered.
Nelson's going to go back out onto the track. He is within 2 seconds. Got ahead of Michael Call. That's the important part, as Bennett will come down to pit.
Been a quiet but relatively effective day so far for Michael Bennett. Got some stage points, I believe, as well. Trying to bring this thing home with a good finish. Cap off what's been a solid weekend here for the 14. On board now with Al Likens, the race leader, making his stop. And this cycle will continue on through. And as things sit, only a couple more cars still to come down pit road. Now Christopher Schaefer with the race lead. I think Nick Alves also coming down pit road here. So with that, that'll cycle everybody through. 25 laps to go next time by. And Schaefer, the only one yet to come down pit road. Otherwise, it'll be Burns, Nelson, Call, Rader, and Linz the top 5 whenever this cycles through, as here comes the 23 now.
And a lap lead.
And a very, very big lap lead here for the 23.
That will cycle out. Call and Nelson going back and forth. Call got around the 31.
That's going to be a huge pass here. Several seconds back at Jeremy Burns. But that's a big pass for Calls. He clears the 31. Now Rob Rader trying to do the same as they come off of turn 2. Rader passes Nelson, so the 31 losing a couple spots here in quick succession. And that's going to really hinder his ability to win this race, or at least finish on the podium, as that'll cycle through now to 4th. And this is, I mean, this is a good battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, but they've got to find a way to make up a lot of time on the racetrack, Bradley, if they're going to catch the race leader here, Jeremy Burns.
Yeah, it's 2.5 seconds for the lead battle. Burns has set sail. Call all the way back here. 2.5. Almost 2.6. Last time by, a little bit faster than Burns. Not this time out of 3 and 4.
The lap times continue here for Michael Call, just a touch faster than Burns that last time around on the racetrack. that pace keeps up, might be able to make something happen. There is the split of the race leader on the bottom, Jeremy Burns, and the car in second. That's Michael Call up on the top side of that side-by-side for the driver's eye. The gap 2.6 seconds as it stands. Burns on the bottom, Call on the top. Burns, though, leads by that 2.5 second margin. His Call has pulled away a bit from Rader and Nelson. That 5's had a really, really strong day here today. Does he have anything left in the tank, though, to reel in the 9? That is the question. I admittedly am a little skeptical because that's just a very big gap to make up, but it is definitely a situation where he is making time to the race leader right now.
It's doable. It is doable, but he's going to need about 0.3 a lap. Just under that. And getting there is one thing. Passing would be another.
And we've seen, even if you're passing the car in fresh air tonight, that's been a very tall order for anybody, especially Michael Call. I mean, we saw the amount of trouble he had with Jeremiah Nelson trying to pass for the lead. And Nelson and Call, you know, they had a great battle for that top spot, but that took a very long time for the 5 to sort out. Don't know if he'd have that time, even if he does find a way to reel in the race leader here. That gap, though, down to 2.2. It's worth noting that was 2.7 when this pit cycle cycled through. So he's definitely cutting into it. But there's only 20 laps to go here. And that deficit, I think, is going to, the rate of closing is going to drop with each passing lap as these tires get older for both of them.
Yeah, it's going to even out a little bit. There is a slight advantage here for Michael Call. And that's probably where you're seeing, watch the lap times on the left-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, about a 10th faster that time for Call than the race leader. Actually, probably the fastest car on the racetrack from what I can see. Outside of, 30.1 was the fast time on the racetrack last time by. Let's see what it is on this time. Burns, another 30.2. Call, another 30.1. Another 10th chopped off it.
Yeah, he needs more.
He needs more. He's on pace, if he keeps doing that, to get to the back bumper as this race ends. The problem is that doesn't allow for any time to actually make the pass.
Right. And we know Jeremy Burns is going to be very defensive. Take the line away. Wherever Call goes, Burns is going to go. Interval down to 2.1. Cross the line. How about Justin Ritchie? Got to throw his name out there.
Yeah, he's having a really strong night. You know, started way back in the field. Is working his way up to 7th. Man, that's a plus 21 situation for the 55. He'll take that every time.
Yeah.
And tell you what, Tyler Harrison doing a great job recovering here tonight as well. Going from the back, not quite to the front, but he is up to 8th. So may not pull the full Denny Hamlin, but you know, we've now seen 2 cases of what will probably end up being top 10s off of pole sitters who get black flagged on the opening lap.
Got a little loose there coming off the 2. Gonna hold on to it. The look here at Nashville Super Speedway in these closing laps. We've seen a little bit of everything. We've seen pit strategy kind of flop and flip around. We've seen drivers that had, oh boy, look at this pass to the outside. Harrison really muscles his way into 1, but he's gonna hit the wall.
Oh, that's going to cost him. Richie going to hold on to that spot again. Oh, Harrison right back to the outside. And he's going after it.
Good moves there, Richie, defending that spot.
Looking at the lap times. Call still, you know, chipping away out of it a little bit, but only a couple hundredths faster that last time by. I'm thinking that might be a little too late here.
It's plateaued. It's plateaued. Yeah. I think his tires are evening out.
Yeah, about another 600ths faster. Still making time, but it's just not enough here for Calls. He's now under 2 seconds, but only 12 laps to go next time by. And I tell you what a strategy call from Jeremy Burns. Normally, we're talking about folks who use the strategy call to try to beat a guy like Jeremy Burns, but the 9 figured out when he needed the track position, and boy, has he taken advantage of it once he got it.
Yeah, pulling away from this field and maintaining the lead. 1.8. This time by, though, that was the 10th. Call found something. If he can keep that back up there, it was almost 0.2 of a second.
Yes, that gap continues to drop. It got down as low as 1.6 there a moment ago. Bit of a slower time from Burns. Call ran another 30.25 as he has the past couple laps, though. Burns, that last time was a 30.39. Another 10th and change quicker there for Call. 10 laps to go next time around this racetrack. Gaps come down to 1.6. I still think it's a little too far, but you never know. If he's close enough where if the 9 slips up for even a moment, he's going to be able to chop into that deficit significantly.
Yeah, it's going to take one lap. This time by, not as fast. They're talking about 0.03 of a second. He is driving the wheels off this thing, though, Alex.
Yeah, he has a target now that he is just trying to hunt down with everything that he's got. You know, you don't want to be overdriving it, though, which is, I think, the concern now, but you don't really have the time to play it safe, especially when you've got the 9 with that much clean air.
Yeah.
But yeah, watching the gearing here for the 5, I mean, you can see how much he is having to spend off the throttle trying to get this car to rotate right now, and I'm sure he's not too thrilled about that, but that's just the nature of what happens when these tires start going away here in Nashville.
Coming up on 5 to go very soon. Burns, Call, Raider to the top 3. Nelson still hanging true. This last couple laps, he's been pulling back up to Rob Raider. Carter Lenz, another recovery in this race. In the top 5 now. Trevor Earhart in 6th. Richie, Harrison, Keith, Floyd, the top 10. A lot of potential champions at the tail end of this race. Not what we saw in the beginning, Alex.
No. We saw a lot of new faces up there, you know, at the start of this thing. And as it's come to a close, we're seeing a lot more faces that we've seen throughout this season. That's not a bad thing. It just took them a very long time to get here tonight. Very uncharacteristic of them. But however, the folks who were really finding a lot of success early on, guys like Michael Call, guys like Jeremiah Nelson, Trevor Earhart for that matter, like they're still up there in that top group. You know, they may not walk out of here with the win, but they are going to walk out of here with a lot of points. And that is going to be a really, really solid performance for these guys. As we're watching here, this is Carter Lenz, who is up to 5th now, is going to be doing as much as he can to try to mitigate the points gain from a potential Jeremy Burns victory here tonight. As Al Likens and Justice Murphy here, the battle for 12th.
We'll get the 5 to go. Crossing the stripe now. 13 trying to get around the 12. Ryan Munoz in the background. A lap down would be a free pass position. Barring that we go green, though, doesn't look like the 81 is going to get back on the lead lap. In the wall. This battle continues. 13's going to look to the inside.
You gotta be careful with how hard you're fighting here. You know, everyone wants that last position if they can get it, but if someone overdrives it, could have to re-rack this thing with only a couple laps to go, and I don't think that's what the leaders are looking for here. As Likens gonna hold on to that spot, slides on by, takes over number 12 on the racetrack. The 12 will now follow the 13th.
A deficit down to 1.4.
However, only 3 laps to go here. Yeah. So that is going to be just about all she wrote. But Rob Rader, tell you what, that's a guy who's really come on late here as well. The 53, he's had some long run speed. He's also had just a lot of problems on the racetrack here tonight, being a part of a couple incidents, kind of helping kick off another one. It's been an eventful one for him, to say the least, and somehow he's going to walk out of here, I think, with a podium finish.
We'll go by the 11. And we were talking about Matt Robinson in the top 5 to start this race off. But now we're talking about Jeremy Burns in the top spot. 1.33 miles left to go out of 150 laps. White flag is out, presented by Earhart Homes. Love where you live. And Jeremy Burns seems like he's back to tip-top shape. He's found a way to do it again. How many times in Season 5 do we say his name after the beginning going wrong, the end coming right, a strategy call of fuel only, a strategy call of 2 tires, whatever it takes? Jeremy Burns is going to call himself victorious in Music City.
Fantastic drive here tonight for the 9 of Jeremy Burns. I mean, just fantastic stuff. It's really, the strategy call is what got him the edge when he needed it. And that ultimately carried him across the finish line here. That clean air really helped him out when he needed it. Michael Call, Rob Rader going to put this thing on the podium. What a fascinating race. It really feels like it was a bit of a tale of 2 races here, that before that lap 75 caution and after, or I guess before the lap 90 caution and afterwards, whenever Burns did the pit strategy to get that front spot.
Yep. That's what he does. He hypnotizes everybody and finds a way. Play till the whistle. Jeremy Burns going to burn it down here on the front stretch.
And well-deserved as well. I mean, a stellar drive from the 9 tonight. 3rd win on the season, if my math is correct here, for the driver of the 9 machine. Putting him now top of the board as far as wins so far this year. The only driver with 3 wins now through the opening 12 races.
Polish victory lap around Nashville. Yeah, tale of 2 races, though, Alex. I think that's really the best way to put it. You had so many different names up in the top 3 here tonight. Race recap on the top of your screen. Look at the lead changes. At Nashville, at a track that's impossible to pass at.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And a good bit of those were on track. You know, like we had a few of those that were on pit road, but a lot of those lead changes were things that happened battling on the racetrack. It was, dare I say, a little bit of an uncharacteristic Nashville race from what we were anticipating here tonight.
But now it's time to talk to your race winner. He has wrapped things up here on the Polish victory lap. And, yeah, a little salute. I just missed it there. But we have the driver of the number 9. Going to bring him into the broadcast booth. Jeremy Burns, congratulations. What a strategy call. I mean, who would have thought that if you just take fuel only, get yourself out front, you can run away from this field?
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose. I was supposed to take 4 there, and I don't know what happened in iRacing, but my tires weren't checked. So all of a sudden, the jack dropped. The crew chief said, "Go, go, go." I was like, no. Like, we're supposed to put tires on this thing. But no, just had to make the most of it. Luckily, there were a couple guys there that were also on a no tire strategy. Rob actually had the same thing happen to him. So that was interesting. we both kind of were in the consensus of, well, we're here now, can't really do anything. And of course, you're not going to come in the next lap and, concede all those positions. But luckily, clean air was all that we needed tonight. And I mean, I felt like if that race went, 10 more laps, Call was definitely there. He was honing me in, but it was just a little bit too late.
When we go back to the beginning of this race, you led 58 laps. It sounds like you had a great night, but at the initial start, you were running around the 13th, 14th position.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird situation. Caution came out at the most inopportune time where I was in the lucky dog position. Unlike in real life where the lucky dog is placed ahead of the waiver rounds, I was actually forced to go to the back. So I went from about 11th position, but that was about where I was scored, all the way back to 23rd. So I had to fight back up there. Luckily, I was able to get to about 6th before a couple cautions flew, and we were able to get a couple restarts to go our way and really push our way to the front, where it felt like myself, Call, and Matt Robinson were kind of controlling the race there for a little bit with Jeremiah Nelson. So it was really good. You could just feel the car get better and better the more you got to the front, just because of the cleaner air. But overall, I felt like on the long run, we ran really well. We ran a flawless race for everything that was thrown our way. And, fortunately, we were able to find ourselves in victory lane now for the 3rd time this season. So really great night overall. Wish we would have gotten some stage points, but I'll never complain when we win.
Well, I can't confirm Alex Gagnon's math was right. You are victorious 3rd time this season, and it took a little strategy, whether it was an accident or not. You got the track position. You put the car up on the top spot. From 2nd place to deep in this field and back to 1st. Denny Hamlin, how do you feel?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Right. Unfortunately, just, bad circumstances, but able to make the most of it and come on P1. So just really fortunate for everybody that was involved tonight. The whole team stayed involved. So just really happy for all of them and glad to get the team back in victory lane.
Jeremy, a lot of people watching here. A lot of congratulations in the chat. Anybody got to shout out?
Yeah, just huge shout out my mom and dad, Josie, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma, and Betsy. Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shannon, Belinda, Betty, Colleen, Tommy, Chrissy, Dana, Dylan, Rolling Thunder, Lightning Fast, Metroplex for being on the hood. Really appreciate them. They've supported me all throughout these past 2 years. So really awesome to get them back in victory lane. Chapman Environmental, Coastal Financial, Ultimate Exterior Light, and Erhard Holmes, All About Vugs, y'all up here at Vspeed, and admins and the drivers who all have made this possible. I do have one more thing. I had it here just in case we were able to get it. They started doing this in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
So I figured we might as well do it too.
You going to hand that off? There we go.
Pretty cool tradition. Glad to keep it going. But yeah, huge shout out to everybody. And did a little Polish victory lap there for the old KB, old Rowdy. So
I saw it.
To see him.
I saw it, and we saw you. Victory lane. Congratulations again. And I mean, surprise victory here. It's sometimes those happy little accidents. I think Bob Ross put it the right way. And we will see you. We will see you next week when we go to Michigan.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
There's your race winner, Jeremy Burns here at Nashville. Got to burn it down on the front stretch. Post-race interviews, those final race results in just a moment's time. You are watching the Chapman Cup Series live on Vspeed. Back with more post-race coverage in just a moment.
JS Racing. We're in the game.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Hey Dad, did you know that replacing your cooling system reduces repair costs and improves energy efficiency? Plus, it operates more efficiently, which means more money in my pocket. I mean, your pocket. Hey Dad, did you know that a new cooling system is less noisy and has a smart thermostat you can control from your phone?
How'd you get so smart?
Must be from Mom.
When it comes to your home's most important decisions, make the smart choice and trust your local Cedar Rapids Pro partner. We're in your neighborhood, so call today.
Welcome back here to Nashville Super Speedway. Music City 200 has concluded its 150 laps in regulation. Race recap we showed on the screen. 19 lead changes. Show final results. It is not what we expected here tonight. With 5 cautions, 19 lead changes. Nelson led some laps. Cole led some laps. Burns going to lead the last one. That's the most important one. But you had Christopher Schaefer up there. You had, I mean, a multitude of different drivers. I think Michael Bennett might have even led a lap here tonight. So many lead changes.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big shuffle, and just because one person had the lead didn't mean it was going to stay that way. I mean, you know, our pole sitter, Tyler Harrison, didn't lead any laps here tonight because he got black flag on the start of this thing. Had to spend the whole thing working his way back. So it was a very unpredictable Nashville, to say the least.
All the way through here with Michael Call and Rob Rader. We'll get a word with those drivers in just a moment. Nelson falls back to the 4th position, but still is going to tie for the biggest mover of the race. Carter Lenz and Justin Ritchie back 5th and 6th. Ritchie ends up with 22 spots gained just next to Nelson. Then you have Trevor Earhart. Tyler Harrison works his way back to 8th. Not quite the Denny Hamlin, with Trevor Keith and Dakota Floyd for the top 10.
Looking back to 11th here, Grant Thorpe will be finishing in that spot just ahead of Al Likens. Justice Murphy finishing 13th here tonight ahead of Michael Bennett, and Nick Alves will round out that top 15. Parker Johnston brings it home 16th here tonight just ahead of Kevin Orlando Jr. Jacob Sirkovich brings it home in 18th. Grant Turner will finish 19th here tonight with Dylan Picklesheimer finishing in the 20th position.
You get back to Matt Robinson with Ryan Munoz, and this is drivers that got trapped a lap down. Chris Schaefer going to end up in 23rd with Caleb Gilbert in 24th. Alex Forget Berube, 27 laps down, early exit for the 19. Sam Taylor also an early exit. Brandon Pamitat, Brandon Richardson. Then you have Joe Joya and Kyle Diaz to round out the field. Well, I got to message Michael Call before we pull him up here. I don't know why. Ham? Question mark?
Oh, did he turn it off?
Yeah. All right. We'll get this sorted out. But while we have a moment here, while he tries to get that sorted back out, we're gonna have to take a moment here. Alex, probably one of the more magical races that we've had this season. But we talked about the points and how competitive it is. And all these drivers getting lead changes and laps led, it got tighter.
Oh boy. So the gap between Lenz and Burns was not all that steep coming into tonight. Obviously Burns with the win, Lenz finishing 5th. Yeah, I got to imagine that's going to bunch it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to tighten it up a lot. And that cutoff line ever more getting tight and working harder for these drivers. But you have caught up with our 2nd place finisher, Michael Call.
That I have. Michael Call, do you got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Well, I tell you what a strong run for you here tonight, my man. Started up in the top 3, basically jumped out to the lead from there, won the opening stage, and ran probably no worse than 3rd the rest of the night. Ultimately coming up 1 spot short with the way the 9 played the strategy here tonight, but just a fantastic run of just pure pace for you in that 5 team. What are your thoughts right now, and how do you look at tonight's race?
First of all, I want to apologize to Tyler Harrison. I don't know if I pushed him on the original start that caused him to get the black flag. So if I did, I apologize. It definitely wasn't on purpose. I was just trying to roll with him. Yeah, we had really good speed. I think we were the best car in the field, long run and short run. I could run that pace, and it when I had clean air, it didn't really fall off. Yeah, it's just that's how these races go, I guess. You know, Jeremy accidentally didn't take tires and got him the track position, and I couldn't run him down in time. I mean, I ran him down there at the end, but just I was burning my stuff up trying to do it.
Yeah, it seemed like that was the case. We went on board with you a couple times there on that last stint. It looked like you were really trying to get everything you could out of that car. It seemed like, though, Nashville is a track where it really punishes trying to overdrive it. Was that your is that how you felt about it tonight as well?
Yes and no. The clean and dirty air means so much here. Like you can be, you know, and like Jeremiah Nelson, he did a great job holding the lead for a while, and I ran right behind him for probably, I would say, a quarter of this race. And it's just mainly because the clean air is so good, and he was fast. Like it wasn't like he was slow or anything. So, but yeah, I mean, you can really 3 and 4 is where you can really overcook it and really cost yourself a lot of time. But it's no different than any other track, right? There's always where you can overdo it.
Yeah, it seemed like that that might be the case a little bit here, but I feel like we've had more and more opportunities this season to see you kind of battling it out for these top spots, and you I think more just about doubled, if not tripled, your laps led on the season here tonight. Came in tonight with 20 odd some, put up another 35 here tonight. Do you feel that confidence is starting to snowball as you know, you kind of keep finding yourself running up at the front each week here?
Yeah, I really needed a race like this, that's for sure. Charlotte didn't go well. The week before didn't go well either. So I was really needing a good result, and I put a lot of time in. I ran about 6 or 7 or even maybe 8 of them, 8 fixed, and really put some work in to learn this place and get better, and it clearly showed. Like I said again, we were the best car. In my opinion, and just got beat on strategy. And that's how it goes. Congrats to Burns. He's my teammate, so I'm not upset. You know, obviously I'd rather be the one with the win, but I mean, he did a great job. It was a good call, and got him the clean air.
It certainly did, but it's still a great run for you here tonight, Michael. Congrats on the podium finish. Anyone you'd like to shout out here on the run tonight?
Yeah, everybody at Lightning Fast Motorsports and Rolling Thunder Racing, they've done a great job this year of keeping me calm and keeping me locked in on the end goal. Power Curve Factory team, my motor builder here back home, he tunes in every once in a while, so thank you to him. SK Construction, my fiance and my son Easton for letting me spend 3 hours a night doing this on Wednesdays, and yeah, the league, you guys, just everybody a part of this league. It's I say it every time, but it's incredible, and it's a great group of people. We have a bunch of fun, and yeah, on to I think we're at Michigan next week.
Certainly will be. Should be a fun one. Definitely a different challenge from here tonight. But Michael, congrats on the big points day for you, and we'll catch you next week in Michigan.
Thank you.
That is your runner-up finisher here tonight, Michael Call, on that number 5 machine.
And one last driver to pull into the broadcast booth, and a lot of people in the waiting room. So now I got to really sort through. There we go. I just about grabbed the wrong driver. The waiting room is popping off here, but Rob Rader, 3rd place finisher here tonight. And with the way this race started, Rob, I didn't expect to be talking to you. I didn't really expect the top 1 and 3 drivers. An accident is what was. Is what Jeremy called it, but it looks like it worked out great.
Yeah, weird race, honestly. I after having terrible luck all season and then winning last week, I said, you know, I'm going to run it back with the Kyle Busch paint scheme. Apparently it's good luck. About halfway through this race, I'm thinking, well, that didn't help me at all. And now somehow I intended to take 4 tires. I had 4 tires checked, came down pit road, took no tires. Jeremy said exact same thing happened to him. So now we're on the front row with no tires, and I think my race is over. And it held on great. I mean, I
Blew my mind.
I don't know. I thought I was heading straight to the back. And don't get me wrong, it's not like it had 4 on it. It didn't drive like it had 4 on it. I mean, it felt lazy, but it worked out. I don't really know what to say. Just glad it worked out. I ran, I think, the last 70 laps on the same left side tires.
Say you meant to do it, because we attributed this, and we just found out in the post race that you and the 9 are not communicating anymore. So
yeah,
for that to happen to both of you, and then to come out here on the racetrack and end up with a podium finish, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, I agree. I'm kind of shell shocked that it worked out that way. And then even on the super old lefts, I know pretty much everybody took 2 tires there at the end, and Call took 2, and I stuck with him just fine. Drove away from the rest of the field. I mean, it's just welcome to NASCAR in 2026, where left side tires don't matter. I feel like I could have run rims on the lefts and probably kept up.
Yeah, nothing makes sense to me anymore. I'm just up here in the booth. I'm pretty much washed, but you're not. You're coming back, looking really good. Got the win at the longest race of the season. Now a podium finish here at Nashville, one of the toughest tracks that we'll go to. It's on to Michigan next week. And that 2-mile oval, I know you can perform there.
Yeah, we'll be quick there. Unfortunately, that's one of those racetracks where a lot of people will be pretty quick there. So it's just going to be about not getting caught in what will inevitably be a big wreck. I think the last time we went to a big oval like that, I was having a really good run and ended up getting wrecked. So you just got to try to keep the car clean. A lot of people are going to have big runs and want to take them, and some guys you can trust more on that than others, and you just got to be really smart next week. And at this point in the season, after we've had a big rally, having the extra stage there last week and performing well in both stages and then winning the race, it really got me back into the championship hunt here, fortunately. And after what looked like an abysmal race, we came out of here third, so I really have no complaints. But at this point, it's literally just about putting together good races, coming out of here with decent finishes. We don't need to win every race, but I say that, but then when it comes down to it, I try hard to do it and then get myself in trouble. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I thank you. I'm gonna reverse this. Usually we ask a driver to thank somebody, but I'm gonna thank you for no F-bombs this week. And
you're welcome.
Also, I'd like to ask you who you got to shout out here for this podium finish.
Well, big shout out to Chapman Environmental Services, of course, for helping us have you guys here every week to put on this broadcast. Everybody else, all the sponsors of the league, I could try to figure them out right now, but it's been a long day, and I'm just not going to do it. Grant Thorpe for sponsoring the race here tonight. Shout out Kyle Busch, man. Cool to have the paint scheme on again this week. And, like I said, it seemed like it was going bad, and so all of a sudden bad luck turned to good. I think we're going to run it back and run the scheme again next week and see what happens. I do need to apologize to Alex Forget. I got really loose on the corner exit of 2 and ended up basically taking him with me, and it ruined his race. Gave me some damage. We got repaired, but absolutely destroyed him. So I feel terrible for Alex. Yeah, I guess that's it. Thank you guys for being here every week.
Every week, man. We will tune back in here at Michigan International Raceway in just a week's time. That'll be
Speedway.
Yeah, Speedway. Yeah, it's almost borderline super speedway. That's where I'm going to put that in the caliber on
That's fair.
June the 10th. Appreciate you coming to talk.
Fair
to us.
evaluation. Thanks, Bradley.
So there you have it. Third place finisher, and well, we've talked about it a few times. Let's go ahead and put it up on the screen.
Yeah, might as well. That's where we're headed next week, folks. 2 miles of pure speed. And with no restrictor plate here, probably the fastest track actively on the calendar. Speeds will be hitting 200 miles an hour. There's no doubt about that. This is going to be a fun one. Draft is going to be important, but also not burning up your stuff, because this isn't going to be just, a giant draft pack. There's a lot of lanes you can run here at Michigan.
Yeah, it's going to be multi-groove racing like we want it here at Chapman Cup Series. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, you can hit the subscribe button. You'll never miss a single race. We have flag-to-flag coverage for everything here in Chapman Cup. I'd like to thank everybody that came in and tuned in tonight. We always have great numbers here. Debbie, Corey, Cove, Burns, and I gotta say, Mike Johnson, I don't know what the problem was here tonight. Hopefully whatever it was cleared up for you. But I look to see all of you back here in just a week's time. But that's going to do it for us here at Vspeed. My co-commentator, Alex Gagnon, always doing a fantastic job. Adam Baker, he's in Florida right now. Alex, you should find where he is.
gonna go find him and tell him all of my thoughts about his graphics package.
Yeah, you need to go hang out with Adam Baker. But for everybody else here at Vspeed with Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, Logan Threlkel, this is Bradley Cooper saying so long from the Music City. The championship is getting closer. We're about to eliminate some drivers very soon. Stay tracking, everybody.